Monday morning, I get a call from a very, very upset young woman who's the receptionist in the practice. And she's in tears. She said, "You've got to help me. You've got to help me. Can you come and do some healing with me?" And I was like, "What happened?" She said, yesterday, a barbecue smoker blew up and I have second and third degree burns on my hand." Oh my God. She said, "I went to emergency room and this, that, and the other." So she told me that. She said, "Please, please." And I said, "I don't know what to do." She said, "Please." I said, "All right, I'll meet you there." So we met about an hour later. So this was 9 o'clock I get there. She called me way early in the morning. And she'd also contacted the young woman who's the hypnotherapist there. And so the three of us arrived. We sat in this the office room. And I sit her down and she shows, and it's like, oh my God. And from here down, there was a lot of skin missing from her fingers, and up to that point, even down to the bone, there was nothing. I was like, oh my God. I said, "I don't know what I can do for you." He says, "Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I know." Okay. And so the other, I'll call her Jane. Jane came and she said, "I'm just here to observe," because Jane was one of my Reiki students. I've been a Reiki teacher for many years. And so she was there to observe. I sit this young woman down in the chair and I start working. On, because here and her back, and stand and work. And the spine is like the mainframe of the computer. So we are a computer, right? This is the spine is the mainframe. It holds all of the information. Everything connects to the spine. And so in doing that, I pick up energies going up and down, up and down, up and down. And then the back is, to me, the back is the past, the front is the future, or the present. And then many years ago, early on, I was given very clear directives from above to change my thinking about how I read the body. And I read the body as this side, the left side, is masculine, and the right side is feminine. Totally opposite to everything that you already learned. And believe me, I argued with it. And he said, "Okay, suit yourself." And of course, every time I changed and went back to what was in the book, the information I was given and shared and whatever was wrong. So I had to humble myself and go back to what I was being told. And sure enough, in the teachings and the way that I was shown, that used to be before many things were changed in ancient times, far, far ancient times, that this indeed was the left side, and this indeed was the right side for the feminine and the masculine. But that's just from my teaching, my learning. So I'm coming down and I'm working and breathing and I'm getting her hand and it was her left, and pulling and pulling and pulling out whatever this was. And there's a bang. And as I'm doing it, the power is huge. And she's crying. And she's crying and she's crying. She said, "Oh my God, it's getting worse and getting worse and getting worse." I'm going, "Oh my God." And I'm giving shown, "Don't stop." And then, "Jane, get on her feet. Sit on the floor and hold the bottom of her feet. And you are the grounding rod." Her nervous system is in complete whack. It's like an electrical system has gone haywire. And so you have to be the grounding rod. And so breathe. The three of us are going to breathe in unison. You're going to hold her feet and you're going to be the grounding rod to make her anchor down and calm her nervous system. And I'm doing whatever I'm doing. And I was like, where the hell did that come from? All right. So we're doing it. And Bella's just like, and it's getting hotter and hotter, and she's crying and crying. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. And I'm going, breathe. We're breathing and breathing, and all of a sudden there is this huge rush. It's like, oh my God. And all three of us just stopped. It was huge. I go back. It's like, oh, it's calm. And she looks at me and she's just going to have a tissue. And I was like, yeah, sure. Thinking she's going to wipe her eyes and blow her nose. She gets a tissue and she's patting the burn. And I went, no, no, no. She says, no, the pain's gone. I went, what do you mean the pain's gone? She says, there's no more pain. And so I worked for probably another, I don't know, 20 minutes, half hour or whatever. And Jane's on the floor with her feet, and we're all in unison in this triangle of power here, working it. And it was probably another maybe, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. I have no idea. Lost track of time. I look down and you can literally see the skin growing back onto the bone. And she looks down and she sees it. And Susan looks and goes, oh my, you can see it. And in another 5 minutes, you could see it was thicker. This is remarkable. And as I'm doing more, the dark, brutal, poisonous pus that was coming out originally from the pores and the burn is clear. And she's patting it, and I'm cringing. She's like, no, there's no pain. There's no pain. And so I'm working on this, and I'm working on her back intermittently with it. And right here, there had been this stuff, this blockage, this something that I kept feeling and working with. And then it was gone. And then I go back and it's like, it's not there. I didn't say anything. I just like, it's different. So we keep working. And it was then we get to a point, it's like, okay, this is enough for today. And she puts back on the bandage, covers it up, protects it. And we go about our day. And each day for the next, until Thursday, 15 minutes when I come in, she comes in and I say, 15 minutes, and I just do a little bit more healing. And she goes off. At the end of that first day, no, it was the second day, when she comes in, she was in a different frame. I said, you know, I need to tell you something of what I picked up yesterday. I don't understand it. I have no idea. And I'm wondering if it's going to make sense to you. And I said, this energy right here I picked up in the beginning, and it was huge and it was old and it been there a long time and it didn't feel good, and what, you know, I don't know how I explained it in a minute. I said, but then it left. It left with the pain. And I says, does that make any sense to you? She just looked at me and the tears are right here. This woman is what, a double or triple Aries, Italian heritage. She is a Harley Davidson motorcycle mama, bar none. The world's not going to mess with this Aries. I'm like, oh my God. I understood because I'm an Aries, but I'm not a triple Aries like this one. Oh, wow. And she looked at me and she said, yes, I know what that is. And she said, 10 years earlier, my husband was killed in a motorcycle accident. And she said, I have been angry ever since. She said, I was angry that he left me. I was angry at how it happened. I'm angry at everything. I went, well, and she was always a person that you couldn't tell anything to her. Don't push me, don't tell me. It's like, whoa, you don't. And she said, wow. I said, well, that's exactly who it is. And I said, you've been holding on to him for so long that his spirit could not evolve. And something, for whatever reason, something broke. And maybe it is the fact that I'm here and that's the work I do, is mainly that spirit guides me to whoever I'm to work with. And maybe he knew that I was the person. You had to have the epiphany through fire because you are fire. It had to be sudden, it had to be brutal, and yet you also had to know where you would find safety. And it was for him guiding you, and that release was you allowed him to leave and to start evolving his own spirit in another way. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't stay with you. He'll always be with you, around you when you need him for whatever, because of the intimacy and the connections you've had through time. But to hold on to him, that anger was killing you, and it was killing him. It was the pups. Who know? I don't know. And so that is how spirit works. That is how healing works. If there was more openness to mental illness, no, most of it is psychic intrusions or all sorts of different things that academia and theoretical science want to say that they can prove, but you can't prove something that is completely intangible. You can't prove any of that. The proof is in the intimate relationship that what I felt, what I shared, what she felt, what her story was, and how it played out. That was the affirmation. Not academic. Could I repeat it? No. Is it a repeatable scientific experiment? No. Not in that instance. It could be in another instance that was brought forth with different circumstances, different reasons, different play out. Absolutely. But that's what they don't get. If you want to go and replicate, boom, 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 it's not coming from there. It's coming from here. That's how I see the world. Am I right? I have to just do the way I'm guided. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. But between all of those, the weaving over many, many years and many, many different experiences and then how it's played out, I mean, the examples go on and on and on in completely different ways, but the parameters, the characters, the play out, it's all the same theme. All the same theme. But I've had to learn that. And the expansiveness of my world, my travels, my seeking, my successes, my disasters, which usually are more than my successes, are my teachers, my humblings. And I've got to 73 years, 73 and a half, to now sit here and say, hey, if we don't fix this world now, you're all screwed. And I am so pissed off about it. I forgot to complete the story on the young woman with the burn, because this is also part of the remarkable part of healing. So as I said, each day for the rest of the week, Monday through Thursday, I did about 15 minutes of healing energy work with her. On Friday, her father took her to the plastic surgeon that she'd seen on the very first day, the emergency room. His comment to her was, "What have you been doing?" And she said, "Well, I have a friend who's been doing energy work." And she said, he looked at her, said, "Well, you're 2 or 3 weeks ahead of schedule in healing." What he had told her and her father, but her father already knew it, at the beginning was, burns are very dangerous. They are very painful. The probability of getting infections is high, and you will have scars because of the type of burn you have. So on that first Friday, when they went, he was surprised. The following week, Monday through Thursday, when we were at work, at some point in the day, I did about 15 minutes of energy work on her hand again. Same sort of work here, and then on her spine and all the energy fields that I'm shown to touch and connect with. The following Friday, she visits the plastic surgeon again. And he makes the same comment. "Are you still doing the things, the energy work that you were doing before?" She said, "Yes, every day." And he said, "Your healing is rapid." He says, "This is far more advanced than it would normally be." The following, week 3, I do the same thing. And by this time, people who attend the psychotherapist's office and within all the facilities had started getting word about this healing and the accident that happened and what transpired. And some people just even come in to say, "Hey, can I have, what's going on? Can you show it to me?" Just they don't believe the healing. And so she very proudly sort of says, "Yes, look at this." There's an acupuncturist that does a few days a week in the office as well. And one day he came in and he said, "Perhaps I've got some black salve. It's a Chinese herbal salve that is very good for burns. It's been used for a long, long time." And he said, "I think you can just put that on it. So just to keep it protected." And so she did. She just put this on. That was all that was done. She was taking no pain medications because the pain never ever returned from the first time it went out. There was no infection, but she kept that on. She kept it protected so that with a bandage, because so she would be aware that there was something there and had to watch it and to keep it clean, obviously. week 4 comes along, and she goes to the plastic surgeon on the Friday with her father. And by this time, they're shocked and also rather cautious, because I had said to her, I said, I would be happy to come and talk with them and share what I do, and explain it. They did not want anything to do with me. It was a no. Thank you, but no. Was I surprised? Not at all. So on the Friday of the 4th week, she returns. And we've been watching this, but I never took photographs. I never even thought about it. That was not my primary care. I didn't do it for that. We did it because we didn't know what was going to be happening every week. It was just every day we saw it. And it became, oh, look at that, look at that. Never thought about the photographs. And so on the last appointment that she had, he looked at it. And it had advanced very quickly, very fast, and very profoundly on that last week. And of course, the pain did not return. There was no infection whatsoever through the entire event. And she was told that she was going to have skin grafts. There were no scars whatsoever. Her hand was completely smooth and clear, just like it was in the beginning, before the burn. I come to find out, I did not know this before, but her father is a retired orthopedic surgeon. And his comment for me was about, why didn't she take photographs? There's no proof of all of this. I mean, it was just like they were furious because it was something happened that they couldn't control. They didn't know. They made absolutely no money off it. There was no antibiotics. There was no medicines of any description that this young woman took. Yet the hand was completely healed. Amazing? Absolutely. Do I take credit for it? I was the vehicle. I was the vehicle for allowing that God energy of healing to come through and be an open vessel to allow and trust that something far, far higher than I and the young woman and the energy of the spirit that was released. He had a part in it. He definitely had a part in this. So are miracles and amazing things possible? Absolutely. And I think they happen more and more in the secrecy and the quietness of hospitals and surgeries and different other places. But of course, doctors and nurses and few people, they're not going to talk about it. Because who's going to believe them? And who would want to believe them because it's money out of the pocket. Herbal medicines and all sorts of many alternative healings work. They always have. The practitioner, the person who's the vehicle for it, is a clue, is a very big key to the whole thing. You have to be out of that ego. You have to be able to know and trust and work enough to be available for that to come through you. And I share this because I'm being shown to share it with you. to be authentic, to not put any icing on the cake. It's down and dirty, but real. And everything was witnessed. People would come in and share and look daily. Practitioners, students, the acupuncturist, the hypnotherapist, the psychotherapist, they all witnessed it. Whether they wanted to believe it or not, that's not for me to say. That they witnessed the daily unfolding quietly. The other thing that this young woman she was an astrologer, and she was a very good astrologer. And she also was very clairvoyant and psychic in her ways. And she'd worked with psychometry. Now, psychometry is being able to pick up on the energy of items like keys, personal jewelry, personal things for somebody, and that the item, the energy of the item and the consciousness and that is being required, the consciousness that is being transferred, required, what is the message that's coming. That's how it works. It's like the unseen little angel is passing on a message through a particular modem and medium of work. And she said after a couple of weeks, she realized that the accuracy and the power and the sense of the energy coming through the hand that was burned had increased considerably. It was like that had to be reawakened through the pain and the drama and the trust and the lightness and the releasing. It all happened in her own private space. So the layers and layers of this, profound. So I leave this with you. And for those who are interested and curious, search more. Contact me. I'm more than willing and open to talking and sharing, doing sessions with people. For whatever the reason, on all the levels. Never know what the level is until you're right here. It's like present. It's also another reason why the pandemic has been so destructive in so many ways, because it has separated people. And now we have so many more people who believe that the interaction, just like I'm having here, through computers and technology is the most powerful. No, it is not. The personal relationships, being able to sit with somebody and work that way, to sit in a group and really share and have dialogues or have healings or have conversations and ideas and creativity. All of that comes from the interaction and the movement and flow of consciousness and thought processes within a group of people. And one can speak what they say, and then somebody else, I hadn't thought about that. And then over here, another one picks up something else, and another one picks up something else. And this is the most powerful way to solve problems. The most powerful way to discover and create, whereas you put the vision in the center of the field. And then, what is your part of the vision? What is your part in the vision? What is your part in the vision? Because you don't want everybody to have the same part. How boring is that? Man, that's all you have are clones. That's not what life is. We don't want clones. Done with that. We want your input and your gifts to be put into the mix of the creation, and yours to come in for the mix of the creation. And yours, because yours is unique, because you come from a different place and a different idea. And then you have a completely different life because you have different talents. That is why everyone was separated. Because that is the power of numbers, the power of pure and good communication and coming together, and unity, cooperative leadership, cooperative discoveries. That's what we're looking for. So young people, anyone who happens to see this far, get away from the computers, get away from the cell phones, get away from the Twitter and the Instagram and the YouTube and all of that. Go into nature. Be with yourself, be with others, be with animals, with plants. Be as a child, get on a swing and feel, let your body's energy move. And release all of the technological garbage, the stuff that's sitting there, the dross, to activate the pure energy of your light. And so, until we meet again.